Смерть ворогам!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Нашим славним захисникам і захисницям тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Okay, thank you, Brother Ukraine. So yes, just a quick word. Remember that next Thursday evening at 7, there'll be a counter rally is being organised against a group known as calling themselves the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. We'll be holding a meeting at the Deptford Town Hall from 7 in the evening. Deptford Town Hall is near, my mistake from last week, it is near New Cross Gate overground station. You can find New Cross Gate, take the name down, New Cross Gate Station, Deptford Town Hall. Their meeting starts at 7, so you'll be most welcome, you'll be very valued, the more we can, because to counter their message of no to NATO, yes to peace. Sadly, Pablo before he left talked about the two idiots from the far right, but then you have idiots on the far left. Needless to say, far right, far left, as far as I'm concerned, they're all far gone. And someone has to challenge the messages that these imbeciles continue to propagate. So please come to the counter rally next Thursday, 4th of April, at Deptford Town Hall. Their meeting starts at 7, so we get there for 7. That's near New Cross Gate Station. So now I'm going to hand the microphone over to a lovely lady, Daria. Please make yourself to the stage. Let's give a big round of applause for Daria. So thank you for your attention. Slava Ukraini! Just one more, what I want to do. And now it's for Daria.
For Ukraine!
Advance!
For Ukraine!
Advance!
For Ukraine!
Advance!
For Ukraine!
Advance!
For Ukraine!
Thank you. Just wanted to say there will be no rally on Friday and Saturday. І друзі українців, це не буде Friday and Sunday. Не буде мітингу в п'ятницю та неділю у зв'язку з Пасхою. Hi, слава Україні! My name is Daria. I'm from Donetsk region, which is east of Ukraine. The war started when I was 10. Now I'm 20. All I see for half my life is how Russia is trying to destroy my life and kill me, my family and friends. I think people understand best when you tell them your personal experience. When I was 10, I saw news from Donetsk airport. My aunt met her son there. She was waiting for him from the store. At this moment, Russia began shelling the airport. What did her son see when he left the store? His mom without a hat. I also saw this photo in the post. Russia killed her. Recently, people asked here what my earliest childhood memory was. The first thing I remember was how I sat in the basement and wondered if my father would be able to get us out from under the rubble of the destroyed house. I sat and thought how long the Russians will bombard my town and we live long in the basement. 2014 was occupation. I went to school and saw a town. I pray that I will not be shot. Parents don't allow you to go out with your friends because Russians get drunk, write tanks, kill people, steal, rape women and children, torture men. My parents were forced to take us out of the city because it is impossible to live with Russians. They are murderers and terrorists, racist homophobes. They cannot even get along with each other. Their nature is to kill, occupy territories and destroy life. Do you think they are rebuilding something in territory they occupied? They don't know how to do this. I can say that because I saw it. I don't want anyone to see this with their own eyes. I'm homeless at 20. Thank you, Russia, for a happy childhood. All I want to say is direct all your resources to help Ukraine. Ignore Russian products. Boycott all their business. Let's not forget that Russia is closer than you think. There is no fighting alcoholics. Our people die every day. My friends in Ukrainian army give their lives to protect me and you now. Stop the genocide in Ukraine.
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 Thank you. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть слава!
Нашим захисникам та захисницям тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Нашим ворогам тричі!
Смерть! Смерть! Смерть!
Дякую.
Дякую, Дар'я. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть ворогам!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна! Захисникам України тричі!
Слава! Слава! Слава!
Thank you. As we know, we keep on saying here about what's going on in Ukraine, about the war in Ukraine is not over, about the Russia kills innocent civilians, children, women, and it's not exception today. Yesterday, day before, each day gets harder and harder for Ukrainians to bear and live on. Every day, Russia continues to bomb civilian infrastructure, continue to destroy Ukrainian beautiful places, continue to kill our young generation, wiping out the nation. But you know what? They lost. They know that. They might continue to bomb and kill individuals, kill people, but they cannot kill the Ukrainian nation. They cannot destroy Ukraine as a country, because Ukraine is a European democratic state. Ukraine is a true European country with European values, something that Russia will never understand. And the totalitarian regime in the charge of the Putin Tsar is an example that until they make the changes in their own home, in their own country, their country is lost and doomed for future to come. Ukraine is already winner. We winner may not be on the battlefield, it might not happen today, but we are winners. Because we're fighting for what's true. We're fighting for what is right. For future and democracy.
On the Georgia, on the Georgia. It's not the Georgian flag here. No. Why would...
Слава Україні! Слава нації! Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна! Україна! Захисникам України тричі! Слава! 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 Друзі, останні дні були жахливі для України. Останні роки жахливі для України. Україна пережила складні часи. І ще багато складних часів попереду. Але Україна зберегла націю. Україна зберегла свою країну, яку хотіли загарбати за 3 дні і перетворити на якийсь сателіт великої Російської імперії, яка тільки на словах одного Путіна. Ця імперія вже давно перестала існувати, вона тільки в хворій голові і хворій уяві Путіна. Цієї імперії вже давно немає і вона приречена і не буде. Дехто ще не усвідомлює, але Україна вистояла саме складне. Це не означає, що ми закінчимо цю війну сьогодні, але це означає, що ця війна неодмінно закінчиться поразкою Росії. Іншого бути не може. Україна переможе. Stand with Ukraine!
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 Few days ago, there was another attack. And if you think that Ukraine, west, east, south, north, some safe areas are safer than the others, there is no safe place in Ukraine. There is no safe day in Ukraine until the war is not over. Until the Russia continue to commit all those crimes. The war in Ukraine is not over. And so we must put up the effort and continue here, continue at the battlefield, continue volunteering, donating, supporting Ukraine, what religious, political, economical status we are. Supporting Ukraine, you supporting future of the Europe and the future of the democratic world. If we allow the Russia now to progress and take on more territories or take over Ukraine, which never happened, this will just open the Pandora box, and that will cause more and more countries to follow the totalitarian Russian regime and to consider to take on someone's independent land or state or the property. Russia must be stopped, and it will stop. It just needs a little bit more. It just needs effort of every individual, political parties, governments and countries. Ukraine is not alone. We already feel that. We already feel the support of the British public, British government. We feel the support of our neighbors and the countries who decided that enough is enough and Russia is not the country to be traded with, not the country to be making businesses with or buying or selling from. And we're grateful for all those who made those choices, made the decision to lose the profit with the cheap Russian resources that Russia has been exploiting for a long time, but to do what's right, to do what is ethically correctly, to do what is right for the future, to do what is right for the existence of the free world, existence of the Europe. We know that Europe, as we know it, is no longer existing. The Russian war in Ukraine has divided and changed the time before this war and after the war. These days now are in the past, when the Europe really operated with Russia, when the Europe is trading with Russia, these days are over now. There are few remaining trades, but it wasn't certain that those countries, companies will put the end to them. They will plug onto the trades, and that Russia will feel full consequences for the actions. At the moment, they feel a bit less vulnerable because there are companies who trading with this terrorist regime. There are few businesses who trading with this regime. And those need to be named, those need to be ashamed, and the sanctions have to be not just against Russia, but against those who continue trading with this terrorist regime. Only total isolation of the totalitarian Russian regime is a success to win this war against Russia. There is no if and but, there is no gray area. We're going to trade at the same time we're going to support Ukraine. If you support Ukraine, you put that before anything else. The trade with Russia must be stopped. Not tomorrow, not in the future, but right away. They shouldn't have stopped the day Russia launched the full-scale war on February 24, 2022. That was a red line for all the trade to be stopped with the terrorist regime. Stop trade with Russia!
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 Few days ago, when Russia launched another wave of attack on the Ukrainian cities, this was not just the cities far on the east of Ukraine that are bordered with the front line, that our brave defenders are defending with their own lives and their own health every day. The Russian attack affected the western city of Ukraine, these cities of Ukraine, in Ukraine, these cities in the Lwow region, Khmelnytsky region, those Kharkiv regions, those regions are close to the European, close to the NATO borders, the borders between Ukraine and Poland. Russian missiles entered this airspace of the NATO. They entered the airspace of the Polish territory, and for 3/4 of the minute, the rockets flew over the territory of Poland. This is what Russia is trying. They provoking and testing our willingness to defend our sovereignty, our willingness to defend and fight against this terrorist regime, our willingness and strength, and what we're going to do on those provocations from the Russian regime. We must stand together against that. We must stay put. When the Russian plane went over the Turkish territory for 17 seconds, what Turkey did, they took it down. And that should be the clearest message to the regime. Stop all the provocations, to stop all the testing of the willingness of the European democratic group to defend itself against the tyranny, against the Russian pro-Kremlin regime. There is no illusion. We know who we're fighting. Our enemy. We know this enemy for a long time. Historically, we didn't choose that neighbor, but historically Russia has been constantly exploiting Ukrainian resources, human and the land resources, and constantly demonizing Ukrainian strength, Ukrainian history, Ukrainian heritage, constantly rewriting that and changing to benefit they both history that they're making up. Now it's time for Ukraine to expose that naked Russia, to expose this emptiness, this shallowness of this regime, to expose and to tell the world that this is what Russia is. This is what they do. That is not the country to be dealt with. There's no country to be traded or taken into account what they will do. No. We know what we need to do, and we need to stand with Ukraine and to defend Ukraine and protect Ukraine, to provide Ukraine with everything that we need to be able to fight. Ukraine is fighting enemy far larger in numbers. The enemy that got the large economy, that got human resources, they switched their economy onto the war machine, and they producing the weapons, rockets, missiles that destroy innocent people in Ukraine. Today in Ukraine, who's next? That's the question. Who's going to be next if we're not going to stop Russia today? This is an opportunity and chance. Ukrainians are clearly understand that we have a once and for all now the opportunity to break free from the Russia. And because of the attack on Ukraine land, now there is no doubt from all the Ukrainians who our neighbor truly is and what Russia does. We not the same nation as some of them still believe. We're not the same country. We're not the same group. Ukrainians are sovereign, independent, European nation. We are European nation. As opposed to the tyrant regime in charge of one of few in Kremlin. Our history in the past already proved that if we want to see the future, we go in and fight for the future. If we want to see the battle of Ukraine, we go in and fight for the battle of Ukraine. Previous fights were peaceful free will of our people. Free will of our people, this is the highest level of democracy that you can experience. And our revolutions in the past, Maidan, Orange Revolution, they were just a sign of Ukraine that they want to break through this totalitarian Kremlin, Soviet and Soviet regime. We want to be free, to build our own future for our children without Russia. This is something that Russia never want to accept. Because the Ukraine without Russia will only flourish and progress. The Russia without Ukraine is doomed.
We are not with the Poland.
It's doomed as it is. Without, in a way we can see it now anyway. And Russia will not longer exist. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава нації!
Смерть ворога!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Україна!
Понад усе!
Захисникам України тричі! Слава! Слава! Слава!
Надо. Де, покликай.
Dear friends, it's a lot of information on the media, but what is not shown is the everyday life of Ukrainians. Everyday life for survival of Ukrainians in Ukraine. Ukrainians who lost everything. Every single family in Ukraine is suffering. They got the friends or family members who either been injured, wounded, or who fighting in the front line. And every day Ukrainians waking up and going to bed with the news about their friends, about our soldiers, and what happened at the front line. This is not the life. The life has been put on hold for many Ukrainians. The life has been put on hold. The war has divided the life before and after. And Russia is committing the crimes, continue to bomb our cities. The attack on the Dnipro, the attack on the road, Pаляниця, Kharkiv, Poltava, Odessa, constant attack on the Kyiv, constant attack on the other Ukrainian cities. It's just an example, just another evidence that Russia has got no intention to stop. That Russia has got no intention to put up this fight. They haven't stopped for a single day. For 10 long years, the Russia has been taking Ukrainian souls and people and territories by day. As we said before, they can kill Ukrainians, they can kill the body but not the spirit. And they feel powerless because they know the more Ukrainians they will be affected by this war, the weaker the Russia will become and stronger Ukraine will be, the more determined with winning this war against the Russian regime. But we cannot go on and win this regime if the group is still making up their mind and playing political games. Playing the games even what Russia will do if we do this and that. This is not the games because the cost is too high. Cost is the human life. The life of Ukrainians. The life of the children. And their future. The cost is too high. For those who visit Ukraine, these days is mainly volunteers, but there are already changes in our air, in our waters. There are many changes. The waters are polluted by this long prolonged war. The waters are polluted, the lands are polluted by the mines and explosions.
So I'm going to have to talk to
The air is polluted by all this bombardment and constant toxic dust and constant toxins that Russian bombs are landing on the Ukrainian soil.
Yeah, that's the one that's going to be...
The country will take not one generation to repair.
but there's a...
So there is no illusion. We're not asking to go and die in Ukraine. We're asking to commit to support Ukraine and stand with Ukraine against this tyranny. Because if this tyranny will go on forever, this will just open the more and more doors to the criminals, to the terrorist organizations like Russia, and they will just go on and go on in many countries or across the world. We say no to tyranny and we say no to terrorism. And Russia is a combination of both. They propaganda, they tyranny, and they terrorism. That's what their state is built on. We are against that. We for the democracy, for the peace, and for the European future and Ukrainian future without Russia.
I don't go like that.
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Stop Russia! Stop the war!
Слава Україні! Слава нації! Україна! 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 Захисникам України тричі! Слава! 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 Glory to Ukrainian heroes! Glory! 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 Thank you. Just a quick announcement before we go to have a musical break. For those who join us today, our usual rally is here every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. and Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. This weekend is the Easter bank holiday weekend. There will be no rallies on Friday and Sunday. But coming on to next week, our rallies will be resumed as usual. Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. Every day week, 3 times a week, outside Downing Street here. Thank you. We're going to have a musical break now.